Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 15 tight end rankings for week 13. You ready?
Let's do it.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, before we get started on this week's rankings, Richard, tell me how we did last week.
Okay, last week we hit on 7 of our 15 tight ends, which is pretty average. Not a great week, but again, tight ends so tough to predict week in and week out. We had a fantastic week 11 and okay week 12. We hope to improve in week 13.
Well, that's not good. Let's see if we can do better this week. All right, if you haven't watched our videos yet, let me just explain what you should expect. Richard's going to give his rankings. I'm going to use our own stat machine to see if you agree or disagree with each of his rankings, and hopefully this video will help you with your own lineups. All right, Richard, line them up.
All right, this week, buys Arizona and Carolina. And number 1, we have Travis Kelce, who will be at Cincinnati. The best tight end in football by far. It's not even close. Number 2, Mark Andrews, home against Denver. We hope Mark is healing and will have better performances. We also, again, there's the issues with Lamar Jackson. Hopefully everything's okay in Ravenland. And number 3, George Kittle, home against Miami. I think Jimmy G is going to have to pass a lot to keep up with the Dolphins. Even with their great defense, Miami's going to score. They're going to have to keep up. George Kittle will have to catch a few passes. And number 4, Dalton Schultz, home against Indianapolis. We talked about it every week. It didn't really show up until last week. Dak Prescott loves to pass it to Dalton Schultz. And number 5, TJ Hawkinson, home against the New York Jets. It's a tough matchup, but we see that Kirk Cousins likes to pass it to TJ Hawkinson. And Hawkinson's a stud. And number 6, David Njoku at Houston. It's a great matchup. We'll see if Watson has that connection with Njoku. I think within no time, Njoku's numbers will improve from decent with Jacoby Brissett. And number 7, Pat Freiermuth at Atlanta. Again, Freiermuth has been very consistent throughout the year. Didn't have a good week 12. We expect him to rebound, and he's up against a good defense. And number 8, Dawson Knox at New England. He didn't have a good week 12. He's part of that amazing offense in Buffalo. Josh Allen, they put up a lot of points. They're up against a decent defense this week, but Dawson Knox could very easily catch a touchdown. And number 9, Gerald Everett at Las Vegas. It's a great matchup, but Everett hasn't been 100%. Justin Herbert looks like he's starting to hit his stride. We'll see. And number 10, Evan Engram at Detroit. Trevor Lawrence has been playing better ball. He's starting to pass for decent yardage. Detroit is a great matchup. I expect another 300-yard game, and I think Evan Engram will catch his. And number 11, Taysom Hill at Tampa Bay. I'm still waiting for that moment where they just give Taysom Hill the reins and hope he can do some Justin Fields type things. And obviously that'll change everything for at least a couple of weeks for Taysom Hill owners. And number 12, Hayden Hurst, home against Kansas City. Big Red on a great offense. He showed up in week 12. I think the trend continues. And number 13, Tyler Conklin at Minnesota. Yes, Mike White makes all the difference in the world. Tyler Conklin's back in the top 15. I expect him to put up decent numbers. And number 14, Jawan Johnson at Tampa Bay. Jawan Johnson gave us a big goose egg in week 12, but I think he'll rebound. He was showing us that touchdown potential. He's an athletic tight end, big athletic guy. So we'll see how he does. And number 15, Hunter Henry, home against Buffalo. Hunter Henry had a good week 12. They're going to have to pass, and Mac Jones is going to have to pass it. They're not just going to be able to rely on the run to keep up with the Bills. So there you have it, your top 15 tight ends for week 13.
Before we get out of here, let's just compare your rankings to some other rankings. The first one that comes to mind is you got Gerald Everett at number 9. Some other rankings have him at 12.
Yeah, there's a concern about, whether he's healthy or not. He played this week, just made it, depends on your scoring format, just barely squeezed into the top 15. So those concerns, is he 100%? Now with Keenan Allen back, is Keenan Allen going to get the bulk of the passes? I mean, they're still missing Mike Williams on that offense, and Justin Herbert is feeling it. So I think you got to bump up Gerald there.
All right, the next one, Evan Ingram. You have him at 10. Some other rankings don't have him in the top 15.
Yeah, more than anything, it's the matchup and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been all right in recent weeks, so we have to, got to give Evan Ingram a spin.
All right, thanks for coming on here and sharing your top 15 tight end rankings for Week 13. Let's see how you do, right?
The fantasy good fellas.
Rolling on the field.
The fantasy good fellas.